This is cause number 329624, case of style of state of Texas versus Donald Ray Davis. Mr. Davis, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis, how are you doing?
Pretty good for old man.
Okay. Now, Mr. Davis, you're here with your attorney, Carl Walker. Attorney Walker, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. The state is here, represented by Attorney Reverend Shearer. Attorney Shearer, how are you doing?
Doing good, Your Honor.
Mr. Walker, what is your announcement in Mr. Davis's case?
I think Mr. Shear has that.
Your Honor, we are going to move to dismiss the case and have submitted a dismissal.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get the, you have your tablet? Let me use that. Okay. We can print off. Okay. Mr. Davis, the state has filed a motion to dismiss on your case. I just signed the dismissal. Your attorney is going to get a copy of that dismissal. Once you get a copy of the dismissal from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And you're free to go as well, Mr. Walker, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Good.
Here you go. Let's shut it down. Okay, this is cause number, let's see, Mr. Kimball. Hold on a minute. Yeah, this is cause number 329402, case of Style of State of Texas versus Chase Morgan Kimball. We have Mr. Kimball, who's present in court. Mr. Kimball, your full name is Chase Morgan Kimball. Mr. Kimball is represented by his attorney, Mark Faggett, Attorney Faggett. How are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. And Mr. Kimball, how are you doing?
Very good.
And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Tommy Coleman. Attorney Coleman, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
And state, what is your announcement?
Your Honor, unfortunately, it appears that the lack of evidence in this case would have prohibited the state from meeting its burden of proof. As such, we filed a motion to dismiss.
Okay, the court has signed that motion to dismiss. Mr. Kimball, your case has been dismissed. Your attorney is going to get a copy of your dismissal. Once you get a copy of the dismissal from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. But there you go. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session and cause number 331890. Case is Style of State of Texas versus Albert Davis or Albert Myron Davis. Mr. Davis, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Davis? That's good, Mr. Davis. You're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Marva Provo. Ms. Provo, how are you doing? That's good. And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Lamar Johnson. Attorney Johnson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor.
Ms. Provo, what's your announcement in Mr. Davis's case?
Your Honor, we would like to be the same on the announcement Johnson. He has a pending felony and we would like to keep the same.
Okay, as that, I see he has a court date on the felony today.
Yes.
Have you been there? You been? Okay, yeah, well, he needs to go down there. And if the case is reset, we'll reset, come back here, we'll reset it on the same court date. All right, yeah, you may be excused. Okay. Oh, yeah. What are you looking for?
Let's see if there's some standard paperwork so I can check in.
It's right here in this black tray. Court is in session and clause number 331948, case of style of state of Texas versus Casey Dallin Wayne Odom. Mr. Odom is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Odom, you could take your mic off of mute. Mr. Odom, how are you doing, Mr. Odom?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Odom.
Good, sir.
That's good. Now, Mr. Odom, your attorney of record is attorney Joey Cantu. However, standing in for Mr. Cantu is attorney attorney Travis Donald. Does Mr. Donald have your permission to stand in for attorney Joey Cantu?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Now, Mr. Odom, how are you doing?
Good, sir.
That's good. Now, and Mr. Donald, how are you doing?
Well, sir, I
Okay,
should have a motion to substitute in the clerk's office. We e-filed it Friday. We may not have made it down here. Not Thursday.
who's the prosecutor on this?
I
I see a motion, that was a different one. Mr. Donald, what is your announcement in Mr. Odom's case?
Sir, unfortunately, I'm not ready today.
Okay,
I did take this case over, but I did get an offer from the prosecutor. If we get one more reset, sir, I think we would probably figure this out.
you wanna keep it on the announcement docket?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, this case is gonna be reset for an announcement. How much time do you need?
60 days would be great, Your Honor.
Okay, give us a reset for 60 days. Okay, this case will be reset to January 9th of 2023. Mr. Odom, Mr. Odom, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You are free to go. Thanks for being patient with us, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Donald, you're gonna get a copy of the reset. Once you get a copy of the reset, I think this is your only case.
I have one more.
Yeah,
sir,
okay.
Mr. Millett, sir, and I'll wait patiently.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Militzer.
Phase 2 of that announcement.
Okay, once you get Sean Militzer. Okay, Mr. Odom, you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Court is back in session. Next case is cause number 329841. Case of style of state of Texas versus Sean Patrick Militzer Senior. Mr. Militzer, is that your full name?
That's correct.
How you doing, Mr. Militzer?
Yes, sir. You.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Militzer, your attorney of record is attorney Joy Cantu. However, standing in for attorney Joy Cantu is attorney Travis Donald. Does attorney Donald have your permission to stand in for attorney Joy Cantu?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Donald, what is your announcement in Mr. Militzer's case?
So we've reached an agreement with the state's prosecuting attorney, and we'd like to set it for a plea date.
Okay. You want it on that same day with your other case, or you want it?
That would be great.
Okay. So the case is gonna be reset to January 9th of 2023. Stay in contact with your attorney. Once your attorney's gonna get a reset. Once you get the reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And once you get your reset, you'll be free to go as well, Mr. Down. And you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, please stand over there.
Yes, sir.
Not that, you don't have to sign. This is for your other one. This is for Oldham.
Okay, the person that's on Zoom that just has iPhone, would you please state your full name?
This is Cameron Brown.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you can put your mic back on mute. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Next case is clause number 329101. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Matthew Giblin or Matthew Aaron Giblin. Mr. Giblin, is that your full name? Mr. Giblin, how are you doing? How are you doing? Okay, Mr. Giblin, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Glenn Crocker. Attorney Crocker, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Crocker, what is your announcement in Mr. Giblin's case?
Your Honor, we have 2 cases today on the trial docket.
Okay.
Understanding that we're announcing ready for trial.
Okay, state. Who's the prosecutor on? Okay, it's on page 2 of our,
Yeah, 3/4 of the way down.
yeah, he's it's a case on our trial docket. We have 2 cases, cause number 326433 and cause number 329101.
Yes, sir. State's ready, Your Honor.
State's announced and ready. Now, Mr. Crocker, we're gonna give set out a trial order. Sometime, well, be later on this morning,
Yes, sure.
we'll give your office a call. You're at the bottom of page 2 on the trial docket.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to get there.
I explained to my client this morning kind of how that works.
Yeah, we got about 12 cases before y'all.
Understand.
Okay. So, we'll just, we'll let you know something. That's come out on, yeah. So y'all free to go, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Now, if it doesn't get reached, then it'll have to be reset. We'll be in trial in another case.
Yes, sir.
Judge, when I approach the bench, you tap it.
Oh, I could take it on unless somebody else need to use it.
There's one there, I could just.
Don't make a difference.
Thank you, Judge.
You want, let's see. Oh, I'm still. He's on Zoom. Mr. West?
Just have 2, Your Honor.
Hmm?
I have 2 on the trial docket.
Okay, your first. Okay, your first case is Satchel Raynell Lewis, cause number 324446. Satchel Lewis is appearing via Zoom. Satchel Lewis, you can take your mic off of mute. Satchel Lewis, you could take your mic off of mute.
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Lewis, you're represented here by your attorney who's in court, Attorney John West, Attorney West. How are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
Mr. West, what is your announcement in Satchel Lewis's case?
Ready, Your Honor.
State?
State's ready for trial. Judge.
Okay. All right. Ms. Lewis, just stay in contact with your attorney. Your attorney is going to let you know where we are on the trial docket. Okay, so Ms. Lewis, you're free to go. And
Okay.
You have a blessed day. Yeah, stay in contact with your attorney.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Maybe put it on call.
Your Honor, can we
Just hold on it?
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try.
Okay, I'll hold on it.
Try.
What do you want to do?
This is cause number 330688, case of style, the state of Texas versus Ramses Concepcion Morales Jr. Mr. Morales, is that your full name? Mr. Porter, somebody's in the back trying to get. Mr. Morales, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Morales, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Galmore, I see that Mr. Morales has a felony case set today, drug court.
Correct. Well, actually, it's on the calendar for today, but technically he had a hearing set for the 9th on Wednesday. But I just got word that it's gonna be reset, so
Did they give you a reset
they're
date?
not giving me a new date yet. But we're not going down there, so I didn't, normally I know we go down there and we come back, but we're not going down there because he was not actually set today, he was set on the 9th, and it's gonna be reset.
Okay, let me ask you, sir. So he will not have to come back, go down to that court on the 9th either?
No, he will not, it'll be reset probably by the end of the day today.
Okay, so what we'll do, we'll have our court coordinator look at the computer, look for the reset date. Once you get the reset date, we'll send a reset date to you.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, stay in contact with your attorney, your bonds, and you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge, that's all I have.
Okay, you have a blessed day as well.
Mr. Weston,
Yes,
it's on statute, Louis, Judge.
Louis, hold on a minute.
Complainant in the call case, she's here, waiting. We just want some direction from the court. Do I need to cut her loose and have her come back later?
I have it. I mean, yeah, you can cut loose to have it come back later because on this docket sheet, we have for some reason, we have this case set as number 1.
And state's ready to go.
That's what we have, we'll be set to pick a jury, on this case. What's the matter?
Oh, no, we both.
Oh, I saw you look up.
I'm looking like we didn't.
We forgot. So he's looking at you
Yeah,
like, what?
no, we'll be picking a jury on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Good, good.
Right.
'Cause I had to go and get
Right.
out
Tell her
tomorrow.
to come back Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be picking a jury. Well, we'll be picking a jury at Wednesday at 1:30.
Wednesday, 1:30.
Right,
I'll let her know.
right. And it's,
And then try to get it done on Thursday.
It's a one witness case for me.
Oh, okay.
we'll probably just do it Wednesday.
Yeah. I anticipate being able to pick and try and be done.
Oh, okay. And then,
Right,
because Friday's holiday, so.
So
right.
I can let her know we're number 1.
That's what's on this here, on the docket sheet. I think that's what y'all, I think that's what was the request last time, was it?
Oh, yeah, we've requested.
I just want to know,
Yeah.
tell my complaint.
Yeah, I know, so my.
Yeah, let me make sure. Yeah, let me see. I saw number 1 on here.
Yeah, we had a note that it was supposed to be number 1.
Yeah, I see, yes, number 1 setting,
Right.
Satchel Raynell Lewis.
Can I take my complaint from here so she can hear some of it? It would help me out a lot. That's
Okay.
all right.
Satchel Raynell. Okay,
And we were talking about the trial settings. Judge.
yeah, this is a number 1 set. This case was set number 1 from the last setting that we had. And so we set to pick a jury on Wednesday at 1:30. Okay. So we just need to have, the attorneys here at 1:30, make sure We're gonna pick the jury.
So we're
And
number
then-
one setting judge, and we will, the state's intention is to pick the jury that afternoon and try the case.
That's fine.
Sounds great to me.
That's fine. Okay,
All right, like I said, it's one witness, I think, from my side as well, so.
okay. All right.
right,
Yeah,
thanks,
you're
Judge.
free to go. Okay.
Oh, I saw the other one again. We can go ahead and announcement on that one.
Oh. Oh, Hennigan?
Yeah.
Justice Hennigan? Justice Hennigan, would you please come forward? Okay, this is cause number 326-47, excuse me, cause number 326-458. Case is titled State of Texas versus Justice M. Hennigan. Ms. Hennigan, is that your full name? How you doing, Ms. Hennigan? That's good. Ms. Hennigan, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney John West, Attorney West. What is your announcement in Ms. Hennigan's case?
We're ready, Your Honor.
Your Honor, it appears my officer has moved on to a different department. We will be preparing a dismissal in the case.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Different department in a whole entire part of the state.
Okay, this case will be dismissed. Ms. Hennigan, if you want to wait for your dismissal, you can have a seat in the gallery. Your attorney will be given a copy of the dismissals in a few minutes. Once you get your dismissal, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Court is in session in cause number 332-444, case is styled the state of Texas versus Brian Craig Mason. Mr. Mason, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Mason?
All right.
I'm doing all right. Mr. Mason, you're here represented by your attorney Philip Dowden. Attorney Dowden, how are you doing?
I'm great, Your Honor. Thank you.
Attorney Dowden, what is your announcement in Mr. Mason's case?
There are two cases going on this morning, one in felony court, and one in misdemeanor court. We would like to give the DA a chance to visit with the DA in felony court who has visited with the victim in the felony and is asking that he only be charged for the misdemeanor. So it'll give them the opportunity to visit, and we'll come back here for a plea whenever the court resets this one. Our announcement is it will be a plea, just not today, to give them time to visit.
Okay. State,
We had no objection on that. In fact, that was what the state would want.
okay, give us a reset date.
Do you want to just wait until the felony is reset? Because the
You-
felony case is not reset.
You're gonna reset it on the felony
I am,
date?
Your Honor.
Okay,
Just
Oh.
get with,
so yeah, what we'll do is she'll be checking the computer, and once they put a date in, she'll send a notice to you of the date that Mr. Mason stay in contact with your attorney and your bond for your court date. You're free to go. You have a blessed day, and Mr. Dowden, you're free to go as well.
thank
You
you.
have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, next case. Let's see what we got. Okay, next case is cause number 331638. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Peter Castaneda. Mr. Castaneda, would you please come forward? Mr. Castaneda, your full name is Peter Castaneda? Mr. Castaneda, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Castaneda, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Mr. Castaneda, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Castaneda?
Okay, how about you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Castaneda, you're here, represented by your attorney, Attorney Willard Hall. Attorney Hall, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Yes. That's good. Now, Mr. Hall, do you waive a record in Mr. Castaneda's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Castaneda? Okay. Mr. Castaneda, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor. Well, that's titled information. This information has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that on or about January 2nd of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Castaneda, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Castaneda, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. On page, now, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on page 2 of the same document, Mr. Castaneda, there's a set of initials on the line next to boxes, check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Castaneda, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, this next document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And at the bottom of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? At the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box that checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And Mr. Castaneda, I also have a document here on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Castaneda, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Hall, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Castaneda, are you a citizen of the United States? State. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State officer, state one.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Hall, you have advised and counseled Mr. Castaneda. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Castaneda, your attorney, Mr. Hall, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Castaneda, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
You do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, any claim for defendant to feel guilty in this case, they is recommending that the court defer adjudicating guilt at this time and instead place defendant on community supervision for a period of 1 year, Your Honor, require defendant to pay a $500 fine, includes 40 hours of community service, Your Honor, and for the standard DWI probation conditions to include a DWI education course, drug and alcohol assessment, and an interlocutory.
Okay. Mr. Castaneda, the state. Mr. Castaneda, I need to ask you a few questions. Now, Mr. Castaneda, what type, do you just have a regular driver's license? You have a chauffeur's license?
I have a regular license and there's like other license and verification, but for the DOT, like the DOT license.
Okay, but I mean, do you have a CDL is what I'm asking? Okay, now, I'm looking at the court is going to, I'm looking at the PC in this case, probable cause affidavit. This look like it was his BAC was a 0.1 and a 0.101 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at in the PC.
Yes, and that's
Is that correct, State?
that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, it was less than 0.15. And he does not have a CDL. And this offense occurred on or after September 1st of 2019. Now, Mr. Castaneda, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $422. It comes to a total of fine and court costs of $922. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay while you're on probation, is $160 a month. Mr. Castaneda, will you be able to pay the $160 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class and have a drug and alcohol assessment. You'll be required to install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, and you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Castaneda, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Castaneda, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Castaneda, pursuant to Article 42.42A.108, on violation of condition of deferred adjudication community supervision, you may be arrested and detained as provided by law. You will be entitled to a hearing limited to determination of the court as whether to proceed with an adjudication of guilt on this original charge. The court may not proceed with an adjudication of guilt on the original charge if the court finds that the only evidence supporting the alleged violation of a condition of deferred adjudication is the uncorroborated results of a polygraph exam. The determination to proceed with an adjudication of guilt on the original charge is reviewable in the same manner as a revocation hearing conducted under Article 42A.751 in a case which the adjudication of guilt was not deferred. Now, Mr. Castaneda, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure. Attorney Hall is quite competent on those matters. Now, Mr. Castaneda, you're going to stand on the X next to Mr. Hall. You're going to follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Hall, yes.
Couple things, Your Honor. He resides in Eagle Pass, Texas, which is a border town, and his doctor is about 5 miles away from his house in Mexico,
Okay, he needs to tell that to the probation officer.
and he's going to be reporting. He's going to report here and then have probation training.
Okay, yeah, just tell me, make sure you mention all that to your probation officer. All right,
Thank you.
stand on the X and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Okay.
He has a pending.
You need it? No.
What's going on? About what this means? Last one.
Ryan Poulard? Did you get Ryan Poulard?
Raise my hand. Do you swear you have never been convicted
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Next case is cause number 329394, case of style of state of Texas versus Ryan Edward Poulard. Mr. Poulard, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Poulard? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Poulard. Would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Poulard, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Poulard, you may put your hand down. Mr. Poulard, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney David Grove. Attorney Grove, how are you doing?
Real good, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Grove, do you waive a record in Mr. Poulard's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Poulard, I have before me a document that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about March 7th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Mr. Poulard, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Poulard, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Okay.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Poulard, I also have before me a document that is titled, this document is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Mr. Poulard, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of this same document, Mr. Poulard, I guess there's 2 sets of initials. Yeah, I guess it's 2 sets of initials, maybe your attorney initials and your initials. Is that correct? Is that correct, Mr. Grove?
Yes.
And it's next to a box that's checked nolo contingere, which means no contest. On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Poulard, before you sign your initials, all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Grove, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Poulard, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit 2 in the court's file, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State officer, state 1 and state 2.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection. States Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Grove, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Poulard, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
And Mr. Poulard, your attorney, Mr. Grove, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Poulard, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 3 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the court give defendant credit for the 3 days previously spent in jail, making this a time served plea agreement, Your Honor. And lastly, we're asking that the court use the time served for both tax and return to court public.
Mr. Poulard, the state is offering that you serve 3 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 3 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you will be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $292, but you will not have to pay the $292 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Mr. Poulard, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Poulard, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Poulard, this will conclude your case. You're gonna stand on the X in front of our court clerk and follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too, Bill.
Okay, and Mr. Grove, I think this is your only case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Haley Guidry,
Outside, Your Honor.
Haley Guidry. Who's the prosecutor?
Yeah, what's the name?
With Lamar.
Yeah, I'll have to get ready.
I think.
Okay.
Lamar, you gonna get you.
Okay. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2, back in session. And the next case is cause number 315911. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Haley Guidry. Ms. Guidry, is that your full name?
Yes.
Ms. Guidry, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Guidry, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Ms. Guidry, you may put your hand down. I also have, let's see, we have 2 cases. The first case is cause number 315911. The second case is cause number 323581. And we'll be proceeding in cause number 315911. Mr. Guidry, well, Ms. Guidry, you're here represented by your attorney, Mark Faggart. Attorney Faggart, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
And Mr. Faggart, do you waive a record in Mr. Guidry's cases?
You do?
Ms. Guidry, in cause number 315911, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information alleges that on or about June 7th of 2017, while you're here in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the class A misdemeanor offense of perjury. Ms. Guidry, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, Ms. Guidry, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges. Okay, Ms. Guidry, I also have before me document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment. Ms. Guidry, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Ms. Guidry, there are a set of initials, HG, that are on the line next to a box that's checked over contingent, which means no contest.
Yes, sir.
Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, Ms. Guidry, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Is that her?
Okay. Here's the discovery certificate.
Okay, Ms. Guidry, I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Guidry, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Fager, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State officer, state 1 and state 2.
No
Any-
objection.
No objection, State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Fager, you advised that counsel, Ms. Guidry, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
She does have a history of mental illness, Your Honor, but at no time did I think she was incompetent to stand trial throughout my representation.
Okay, now, Ms. Guidry, your attorney, Mr. Faggett is advising counsel to you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Guidry, I will let me do this here. Your attorney previously stated that you had a previous history of mental illness. Do you understand what's going on today in your case? And you've been able to communicate with your attorney? Yeah, okay. Do you understand the consequences of you entering a plea in this case? Okay. Now, Ms. Guidry, the court is going to accept your plea of no contest. The court will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. The court will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. The court will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest, in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 365 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the court suspend imposing that sentence at this time and instead place the defendant on community supervision for a period of 1 year, Your Honor. Require the defendant to pay an $800 fine and to complete 80 hours of community service. And lastly, Your Honor, to complete a moral recognition course. And in consideration for this plea agreement, Your Honor, the state has moved to dismiss companion case number 323581.
And Your Honor, also Ms. Guidry would like to be get with the probation department and get placed on the mental health case.
Okay, so we need to make that part of the, okay. So we'll make that,
Court wishes to do it.
okay, yeah, we'll make that part of the plea, part of the plea. So this, Ms. Guidry, what we'll do in this case, Ms. Guidry, the state is offering that you serve 365 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $800 plus court costs of $417. You will also be required to pay a fine of 800, well, you'll be required to pay probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County DWI education class an initial evaluation fee of $250.
It's not a DWI, Judge.
Oh, excuse me. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County, the court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Now, the total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you would have to pay each month while you're on probation, is $210 a month. Will you be able to pay the $210 each month? Now, I mean, if you can, you just have to let the court know if you can or cannot.
I'll figure it out.
Well, that's not good enough. You have to, I have to know right now.
Yes, sir.
You will be able to pay it? Okay. Now, you'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You will attend and complete the moral recognition course. You will also be placed on the mental health caseload. You will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. The state will be dismissing cause number 323581. Now, Ms. Gidry, do you understand the state's offer? And you understand the conditions of your probation?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that it's fair and just?
No, not really.
You don't? Okay, well, I just need to know, do you think it's fair and just, or you don't?
No,
Oh,
not really.
okay.
I remember going to court for 7 years, no.
Well, okay, so what's unfair about it?
It's okay.
You okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay, so, Ms. Gidry, and do you accept the state's offer?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so the court is going to, follow the plea bargain agreement with the terms and conditions of probation that the court has just mentioned. You will be, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney. And, once you, follow the, recommendation or follow the instructions of our court clerk, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Huh?
Will the Torres Metro?
Yeah, I gotta get my court report in.
We'll waive a record.
Ah,
All right.
Yeah. What's your client's name?
She's right here. It's just a reset. Ms. Brown.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Next case is cause number 332142. Case is style of State of Texas versus Yolanda Renee Randall. Ms. Randall, is that your full name? Okay, Ms. Randall, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Randall. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Langford Adams. Attorney Adams, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Mr. Adams, what is your announcement in Ms. Randall's case?
Just we have one more review document, and the state is not opposed to that, and that's the one.
Yeah. Any objections?
No objection.
Okay, give us a reset date.
January 23rd.
January 23rd of 2023. Ms. Randall, your case has been reset to January 23rd. Stay in contact with your attorney. Your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
And just my last one was woven the same.
Yes, hold on. Kelly Grogan,
He's off that.
okay, this is the court is in session in two cases. Cause number 331052 and cause number 332564. Both cases are South State of Texas versus Kelly Grogan or Kelly Deontay Grogan. Mr. Grogan, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Grogan? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Grogan. You're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Langford Adams. Mr. Adams, what's your announcement? Mr. Grogan's case?
Last reset, just on the case, the state is not opposed to it.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, give us a reset date.
January 23rd.
Okay, this case we reset on the announcement document for January 23rd, 2023. State. Okay, Mr. Adams, you can get your reset. Time for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, Mr. Grogan, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Alfonso Vasquez?
You can have him call again, Judge. I have another one, Catherine Romero. Set on it now.
Court is in session and calls numbers 322358, calls number 325966, calls number 331522, calls number 331524, calls number 333398, and calls number 333400. All six cases are styled the State of Texas versus Alfonso Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez, is that your full name? Okay, how you doing, Mr. Vasquez?
All right.
Okay, Mr. Vasquez, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
Fine.
Mr. Burbank, what is your announcements in Mr. Vasquez cases?
Tommy, we asked, we announced ready, and we would love to do them back to back to back to back to back.
Okay,
Whatever it is, but I'd like to inquire whether or not he's medically okay. Do you have a flu? Went to the hospital? Some of my stuff to be here in court? No, I was yesterday.
There's a state radio both to go back.
Okay, you got 6 cases,
Well,
so
I'm reading on the one ending in 966, the one ending in 39.
966 and 398, okay. Okay, Mr. Vasquez, no, okay, Mr. Burbank, you announced ready on yours?
Yeah, subject to his medical condition, Judge. This is the first time. I did receive a call Friday that he was kind of under the weather from a family member, and that he was going to the hospital or the clinic or something. Didn't know he got out yesterday.
Okay, well,
I mean, I just,
okay, we got trials, we said this week, next week, I mean,
we don't have to do them back to back.
right, well, I understand that, but we got a certain order that we're gonna do it in, okay?
Just let me know, Judge.
Okay, so right now, we have a number 1 case, I need to see what these other cases above you, is going to do. But you'll probably be somewhere around 3.
If you call my office, Judge.
Okay, so just be on standby.
I will, Your Honor.
And now, if we want to pick the jury, we'll be picking the jury on Wednesday at 1:30. Okay,
Your convenience.
all right,
Thank you, Judge.
all right.
Give you a call.
Next case is cause number 331930. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Catherine Cormier or Cormier. How you doing? That's good. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. Mr. Burbank, what is your announcement in Ms. Cormier's case?
What's your reset on the drug case?
Okay, so we're gonna reset it with a felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh.
November 28th.
Okay, just stand on the X. Ms. Cormier, your case is gonna be reset with your felony case November 28th, 2022. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay.
Who we have next?
May I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused. Cody Welty,
Yes, sir.
court is in session and cause number 329272. Case is style of state of Texas versus Cody Cheyenne Welty. Mr. Welty, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Welty?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Welty, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Bruce Smith. Attorney Smith, how are you doing?
I'm fine. All right.
And the state is represented by Attorney Raymond Shearer. Attorney Shearer, how are you doing?
Doing great, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, do you waive a record in Mr. Welty's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Welty, I have before me a document that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about January 9th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Welty, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Welty, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Welty, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Mr. Welty, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials online next to a box that's check no contingent. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir. I did.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir. I did.
And at the top, well, at the next document is titled Trial Court Certification Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the
Sir.
line that's titled defendant? There are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I
The
did.
second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Welty, do you recognize this document?
I do.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir. It is.
Now, Mr. Welty, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Smith, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir. I did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir. I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes,
to the
sir.
best of your knowledge? State. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, you would, John. No objection.
No objection. States Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Welty, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir. I am.
Mr. Smith, you've advised and counseled Mr. Welty, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, yeah.
Mr. Welty, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Wholeheartedly.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Mr. Welty, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. Will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. Will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for Mr. Welty to serve 1 year in the Jefferson County Jail. However, that time will be probated over 2 years. He'll pay a $500 fine and do 40 hours of community service.
Mr. Welty, the state is offering that you serve 365 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Hold on a minute. Mr. Welty, the state is offering that you serve 365 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, that time will be probated over a period of 2 years. So you would not have to serve 365 days in jail because you'll be on probation for 2 years. During the 2-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $307, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $807. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, or your analysis fee of $15 each month. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $110 per month. Will you be able to pay the $110?
Yes, sir. I will.
You will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, and you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Walton, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Mr. Welty, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Welty, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You do.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Right, it's,
type of conflict of interest in a stable way, any type of, conflict of interest and has no objection to the proceeding.
Okay, next thing is, Troy Swallow and myself, we went to law school together, been friends for, I hate to think.
Don't say it,
A number of years.
Don't say
Yeah, I just thought about that, a number of years. And we've also tried cases together, is that correct?
That's correct.
And if the court thinks that there may be a conflict or appearance of impropriety, the court would be willing to recuse itself.
Same answer, Your Honor. The state has no reason to believe there's any conflict of interest and waives any conflict of interest, and it has no opposition if you move forward.
Okay, that's fine. So now in cause number 324378 -1, I have before me an information. This information alleges that on or about September 2nd of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of a vehicle. Mr. Furlow, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
But let me do this here. Did I swear you in? Raise your right hand. Mr. Furlow, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Furlow, in cause number 324378-1, I have before me an information. This information alleges that on or about September 2nd of 2019, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of a vehicle. Mr. Furlow, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
No, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Okay, now, Mr. Furlow, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on the line that's titled no continuous means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, this document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And the next document is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, on all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did you read these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Furlow, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State over state one and state two.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Furlow, your attorney has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Swallow, you've advised and counseled Mr. Furlow. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None that I'm aware of, yeah.
Mr. Furlow, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement? And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state has recommended that the defendant be assessed and required to pay a $1,500 fine plus court costs. Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Furlow, the state is offering that you pay a $1,500 fine. In this case, plus court costs. And the court cost is $352. The total fine and court cost is $1,852. Mr. Furlow, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Furlow, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Furlow, we move on to your next case. Your next case is cause number 324-380-1. And Mr. Furlow, I have before me an information in this case that alleges that on or about September 2nd of 2019, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of vehicle. Mr. Furlow, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead?
No contest.
Now, you pleaded no contest, just in this case, freely and voluntarily. And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight and contest the charges?
No, sir.
Mr. Furlow, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Furlow, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Furlow, a set of initials on a line that is titled NOLA continuous, which means no contest. Or did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, Mr. Furlow, this document is titled Trial Court Certification Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And at the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Furlow, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Furlow, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything that he went over true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State 1?
Yes, Your Honor, State Officer 1.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Furlow, are you satisfied with the services that your attorney has rendered in this case?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
And again, Mr. Swallow, you advising counsel, Mr. Furlow, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay, Mr. Furlow, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally incompetent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Now, I'm saying for the defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending that the court assess and defendant be required to pay a $1,500 fine on the court cost.
Okay, Mr. Furlow, the state is offering that you pay a fine of $1,500 plus court costs of $352, which comes to a total of $1,852. Mr. Furlow, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Furlow, I'll follow the plea bargain agreements that you have entered into with the state in this case. Now, Mr. Furlow, your last case is clause number 324-472. This case is styled the state of Texas versus Drake Dalton Furlow. And Mr. Furlow, I have before me an information in this case that alleges that on or about September 1st of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to class A misdemeanor offense of theft from mail. Mr. Furlow, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead?
Okay.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you don't wish to fight or contest the charges? And Mr. Furlow. Hold on.
Judge, if I could, just for a second, you just answered no, sir. You meant to say yes, sir, and you don't want to find this, correct? You
Yes, sir.
understand about the no, just okay.
Okay, just so let me do that again, Mr. Furlow. Are you entering a plea of no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you entering a plea of no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Furlow, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Furlow, do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Furlow, with a set of initials on the line that's titled "No continuous" means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this document, there's a signature above the line that is titled "Defendant." Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled "Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal," do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled "Defendant"?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Second box states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Furlow, before you signed and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibits 1 and 2. State, like to offer States 1 and 2.
Yes, Your Honor, state office stage 1 and stage 2.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections, States 1 and 2 are admitted. And Mr. Furlow, again, you are a citizen of the United States. And is there any evidence that he's currently admitted to competent stand trial?
None that I'm aware of.
And Mr. Furlow, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you're admitted competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waiver are freely and voluntarily given. I'll also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, we have a plea bargain agreement in this case.
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, anything for defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending that defendant be assessed and required to pay a $1,500 fine plus court costs.
Mr. Furlow, the state is offering that you pay a $1,500 fine plus court costs, and the court cost in this case is $402. So you'll be required to pay a total fine and court cost of $1,902. Mr. Furlow, will you be able to pay the court costs in this case and the other cases as well? And do you understand the offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think it's fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Furlow, I'll follow the plea bargain agreements that you made in this case and the other 2 cases. Mr. Furlow, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, he's going to, you have until 5 p.m. today to make those payments. Okay,
If the court will be here, we're gonna go immediately. and
Yes.
pay it.
okay, that's fine. And just come back upstairs with the receipt.
Okay,
All right, stand on the X and follow the directions of the clerk.
maybe be excused.
Yes, you may be excused. Mars.
Texas. Company of the undersigned Assistant Criminal District Attorney of Jefferson County, Texas, on behalf of the state of Texas, and presents in and to the county court at law of Jefferson County, Texas, that in Jefferson County, Texas, Jose De Jesus Lopez, hereafter styled defendant, guilty for on about December 24th, 2019, did then and there intentionally and knowingly make repeated telephone communications with the intent to harass, annoy, alarm, abuse, torment, and embarrass Haley Rodriguez, hereafter style the complaint against the peace and dignity of the state.
Mr. Lopez, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, you like to have an opening statement?
State waives opening statement, Your Honor.
Defense? Mr. Johnson, you may call your next witness, your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Haley Rodriguez.
Haley Rodriguez, name was called. There's not been a response. State, do you have another witness?
No further witnesses, Your Honor. The state rests.
Defense, do you have a motion?
Your Honor, move for instructed verdict not guilty.
Oh, that motion will be granted. Mr. Lopez, you have been acquitted of these charges. Your attorney is going to get a copy of that judgment in a few minutes. You can get a copy. Once you get a copy, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay, extended. Was that it? That was the only bench trial we had, right? Oh, all right, thank you.
Your Honor.
So, yeah. Okay, Mr. Jackson, you can come forward. We have two cases. First case is cause number 330-670. Second case is cause number 331-584. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Ryan Stephen Jackson. Mr. Jackson, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Jackson, you're here represented in your case by your attorney, Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge, thanks.
That's good. Now, Mr. Parker, what is your announcement in Mr. Jackson's cases?
I believe anyone will reset, Judge, as the court will recall, one was filed and then another one was filed sometime later. There's a couple things to discover that I don't have in the second case that was filed.
Okay.
And I need to talk to the prosecutor as well. I haven't.
How much time do you need?
I think I'd rather just do like 45 days.
Okay.
I think we can do that.
Okay, give us a reset on Jackson on page 2 of the announcement document at the top on both his cases, 45-day reset,
January 9th.
January 9th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Allen, Mr. Jackson's cases are going to be reset to January 9th, 2023. Mr. Jackson, you're going to get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Park, I think this is on the case, yeah?
Yes, sir.
You'll be free to go as well. You have a blessed day. Please stand for your reset. That's Jesus, that's Lopez. I almost, oh. No, you need to sign it here. No, I just, I was gonna sign the judgment here. I could sign it. I mean, they're gonna get my copy of this. Here you go. Mr. Gertz. You have Paul Quibido.
Good.
Okay, this is cause number 329-103, case of style of state of Texas versus Paul Quibido. Mr. Quibido, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Quibido?
I'm doing well, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Quibido, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Ryan Gertz. Attorney Gertz, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Mr. Gertz, what is your announcement in Mr. Quibido's case?
Judge, I haven't had a chance to sit down with Mr. Quibido and go over the discussion case. I apologize. I've been in trial, as you know, basically the last month. And I just haven't had a chance to do that in preparation for this hearing. So I would ask the court for an additional resetting here.
Okay, Paul Quibido on announcement docket, page 1, right in the middle. Give us a reset date.
January 23rd.
Okay, Mr. Quibido, your case is gonna be reset January 23rd. Stay in contact with your attorney. Mr. Quibido, your attorney is gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Gertz, would you please sign for the reset?
Most of the day to you, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You gonna sign for his reset? Taylor Horachuk?
I'd have to kind of pronounce it. Every time I try it, I get it wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay, next case is cause number 328-663. The case is style the state of Texas versus Taylor Morgan Hartchuck. Ms. Hartchuck, how are you doing? That's good. Oh, you also have another case, cause number 332-777. Again, it's style the state of Texas versus Taylor Morgan Hartchuck. Ms. Hartchuck, you represented in your case, well, in the first case, you're represented by attorney Ryan Gertz. The second case, we don't have you representing her?
That's what I was going to tell you, Judge. We're in the process of getting that worked out. We were going to ask for a resetting on both cases, and we'll send a rep letter on that new case.
Okay, now, Ms. Hartchuck. He has attorney rep letter on your first case. He's gonna send a second attorney rep letter on your second case. And so he's gonna sign for your reset on your first case, and you're gonna sign for your reset on the second case. Once you get your recess, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And so, Mr. Gertz, you can sign for the reset on the first case, and then you could go over there behind him and you're gonna sign on the second case.
So another trial setting.
Oh,
Announcement.
no, okay, you gonna put him on announcement?
Is that okay, Judge? Because I don't know anything about that new case yet. And I can split them up.
Let's put it on the pretrial conference docket. Right. Now, state, you have any objections? You have Gertz, I mean, you have Sellers as well.
I do, and I also have, training.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, next case is cause number 329-496, case of style of state of Texas versus Justin Ray Sellers. Mr. Sellers is on Zoom. Mr. Sellers, you can take your mic off of mute. Mr. Sellers, how are you doing?
Good, thank you, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for being patient with us, Mr. Sellers. Mr. Sellers, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Ryan Gertz. Attorney Gertz, what's your announcement in Mr. Sellers' case?
Judge, we're asking for one additional resetting, same reasons I gave in Mr. Crypto's case. I haven't had a chance to sit down with Mr. Sellers and discuss.
It's on the announcement docket, page 1, second from the bottom. Okay, how much time you need?
Just if we could set it at 123 days, good.
Okay, we're gonna reset it to January 23rd of 2023. For now, Mr. Sellers, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. They will be given notice of your reset date, January 23rd of 2023 at 9 a.m. for announcement. Mr. Sellers, again, thanks for being patient with us. You're free to go. Stay
Thank
in
you, Your
contact,
Honor. Appreciate you.
and you have a blessed day.
You too, sir.
Next, Cheyenne Sanchez. Court is in session in two cases, cause number 332-478, cause number 332-558. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Cheyenne Christine Sanchez. Ms. Sanchez, is that your full name? How you doing, Ms. Sanchez?
I'm doing all right. Thank you.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Sanchez. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Ryan Gertz. Attorney Gertz, I see that Ms. Sanchez has a felony case that was also set today.
He does, Judge, and we reached an agreement in that case to a reduction from the felony that will be refiled in this court for the next setting. So they essentially put a reset placeholder in the felony case. And we would ask you to reset this to that same day, and then when that happens,
Okay.
I don't know if it's been in the
Okay,
system yet
that's
or
what I was
not,
going to ask.
but we would ask for a resetting of these cases to whatever that day is.
The felony date.
And then, we've got a deal worked out to wrap up all three cases in one.
Okay,
setting.
they're going to reset these cases with his felony date. Did they give a felony date yet in the computer?
12/12.
Okay, so it's gonna be reset till December 12th of 2022. Ms. Sanchez, your attorney is gonna sign for your resets. Once you get your resets from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Please stand on the X next to your attorney. And Mr. Gertz, I think is this your last case?
I hope so, Judge.
All right, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Sean Hendry. Mr. Bailey, would you please call the name of Sean Hendry? is in session and calls numbers 322-272, calls number 326-476, calls number 333-118, calls number 333-120. All four cases are styled the state of Texas versus Sean Ronald Hendry. Mr. Hendry, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hendry, how are you doing?
Fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Henry, you represented in cause number 322-272 by your attorney Todd LeBlanc. Attorney LeBlanc, how are you doing? Okay. And Attorney LeBlanc, what's your announcement in cause number 322-272?
Judge, I believe that's the murder vehicle. Yes.
Right.
At this point, this is the only one I'm hired on, Judge. I'm not ready. He's got a felony that's set for next month.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
And I know this one's old.
right.
Haven't talked to him since last court date. Judge. I'm gonna do.
Okay, I mean, y'all got offers or something? I mean, we don't even know what,
I believe I emailed you so long ago.
I mean, you talked to the guy about his offer?
Yes, he rejected the offer.
Okay,
Did that way back before, I think.
well, State, are you ready?
Here's where we are, Judge. I was working on preparing the evading case in the hopes that by working out the evading, it will spur a settlement with regard to the.
Yeah, the evading is the last two cases.
There's a hitch in the evading, Judge, with my witness. We won't be available.
I mean, we can't, I mean,
I've got
I'm looking
three
at the
cases.
burglary of vehicle.
And I've got 3 other cases, Judge, that I've worked up and tried to get. I mean, I can be ready in short order, Judge. I guess the long and short of it is the state's not ready.
Is his felony set for December 7th?
Oh, that's set for designation of an attorney.
Yes, it's relatively new. I'm just looking.
I mean, just because, he continues to get cases, we can't prolong.
Just the
You
state
know.
can be ready in short order. If we can get a short reset, I would.
I mean, we got a jury trial. I mean, we got a, let me see, we got a jury coming on, next week.
Okay, Judge.
I mean, we could put him on, we can put him on that docket. And then we got one, Court is in session in three cases, cause number 331-816, cause number 331-818, and cause number 331-820. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jose Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, how are you doing? Now, Mr. Hernandez, you have these three misdemeanor cases. And at this time, you do not have an attorney representing you on these misdemeanors, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, there's a note in the file that states that Attorney Ryan Matuska was to file a letter of rep. Were you intending to hire Attorney Ryan Matuska?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and have you hired him?
No, not yet, not for this case.
Okay, now, are you still intending to hire Mr. Matuska for these cases? You are?
Yes.
Okay, so how much time do you need to hire Mr. Matuska?
It's, a week.
Oh, okay. Just give us a standard 30-day reset. Give him time to hire his attorney.
December 12th.
Okay, so Mr. Hernandez, these cases are going to be reset to December 12, 2022. They give you an opportunity to hire your attorney, and you're going to stand on the 4X, sign for the reset of your case. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go.
Thank you.
And you have a blessed day.
She may be able to do
Oh, who?
Paul, is it, Mr. Cooper's trying to sit, he says, that's cool.
I got
We
it.
get, he's gonna have to, okay.
I think it on that, there's at least. If I heard take a test.
She's on the trial docket. Okay,
I told her she needs to submit to the court.
okay. We can have, before we get to her, we could do, get, Dana Rett. No, didn't y'all want me to hold on that?
Yes, I
Rett?
think we're gonna work, I think we've worked out.
Okay, and, the next case is Alexis Rail. Mr. Rail? This is cause number 326-413. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Alexis Rafael Rayo. Mr. Rayo, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Rayo? That's good, Mr. Rayo. You're represented by your attorney Ryan Matuska. Attorney Matuska, what is your announcement in Mr. Rayo's case?
Right, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, the state has not been able to secure the attendance of the plaintiff witness in this case. On the state is not really at this time. We would ask for continuance to secure.
Do you have any objections? Mr. Matuska?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, it's the state, I guess this is your first reset.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this case is gonna be reset. Secure your witness. Give us a reset date. We'll keep it on the trial docket. What is it?
February 13th.
Okay, this case will be reset on the trial docket February 13, 2023. Mr. Rayo, your attorney is gonna sign for your reset. Once you get the reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay, so please stand on the X. You gonna sign for his reset? We have, is that Audacia May? Audacia or Briley May?
I don't, we sent her notice. I hadn't been back to my office to find out what has happened, but we did send her notice that.
Okay. Okay, let's see. This is cause number 330-782-1, case of style of state of Texas versus Audacia or Greeley May. Audacia May was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's announcement docket. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Audacia May at the courthouse door. Audacia May has not, Audacia May did not answer. Audacia May has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. Audacia May's attorney Alvin Samuel, is here. Mr. Bailey, could you please call the name of Audacia May at the courthouse door? The time now is 11:39 a.m. on today's date. Audacia May's name was just called again at the courthouse door. Audacia May did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Ms. May an opportunity to appear in court. She has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, they moved the ball forward.
That motion will be granted. Audacia May's bond will be forfeited. Warrant should be issued for arrest in cause number 330-782-1. All right.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Thank you. Judge,
All right.
we paid the fines, we're done.
All right. All right. Y'all free to go. Y'all have a blessed day.
That's nice. We reached an agreement on all right.
Okay. Court is in session in cause number 331-054, the case of style of state of Texas versus Cameron D. Brown. Mr. Brown is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Brown, you can take your mic off of mute.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Brown, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Brown, you're represented in this case by your attorney Paget. Attorney Paget, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor.
Mr. Paget, what is your announcement in Mr. Brown's case?
Your Honor, I've received the video evidence on the case, and I think we're going to be able to work this out when Mr. Brown gets to a position where we can meet. If you would give us 30 days, I think we'll be able to dispose of this case. In fact, I'm almost certain of it after reviewing the information.
Okay, give us a reset date. Okay, Mr. Brown.
Your Honor,
Yes.
you said December the 12th?
Yes, she said December 12th.
I'm not gonna be available on the 12th. Is there any way we can do some date or the first date after the 12th that you're available or that the court's available?
Okay, give us another date.
They put it back on the pre-trial.
Yeah,
It'll be disposed of, whatever docket the court wishes to put it on.
Right. Yes, we have to do January or December 5th.
what about December 5th?
Though it's the 5th and the 12th that I have trouble with. That's why I was hoping we could get after that.
Did you have the 19th?
The 19th would be fine.
No, 19.
It's the holiday?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks of December.
When does it start? I mean, we put him on another, or just, it don't have to be on a Monday. What about?
No, I can do it on another day.
What about the week of the 12th?
14.
What about the 14th?
12.
Perfect.
She said 14 is fine.
14.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's just
Okay.
those 2 particular days, Your Honor. Any other day I'm available.
okay, so case gonna be reset to 12/14 of 2022. Mr. Brown, your attorney, Mr. Paget will be, your attorney and your bondsman will be given copies of your reset date. Stay in contact with your attorney, your bondsman. The case is reset to 12/14 of 2022. This will conclude your case. Thanks for being patient with us, and you have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Paget, is this your last case?
No, Your Honor, I have a DeCoven Coleman on your docket, and he's on Zoom as well, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman, you could take your.
Yes,
mic off.
sir.
Mr. Coleman, this is cause number 330-526. Case is style of state of Texas versus DeCoven Coleman. Mr. Coleman, how are you doing?
All right, and yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Coleman, you're represented in this case by your attorney, James Paget. Attorney Paget, what's your announcement in this is a case on the trial docket. What's your announcement in Mr. Coleman's case?
We're ready, Your Honor.
State? Okay, now, Mr. Paget, he's near the bottom of the docket. You'll just be on standby. Mr. Coleman, if you're, stay in contact with your attorney. The attorney will let you know whether or not, whether or not the court has got to your case to try it. Your case is on the docket with several other cases. Now, Mr. Coleman, if your case is reached, you have to be here on Wednesday at 1:30. Okay?
Yes, yes, sir.
Stay in contact with your attorney, and the court will inform your attorney whether or not your case will be reached.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I will let you know, Mr. Coleman.
Okay, so Mr. Paget, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is back in session. Next case is cause number 331270, case of style of state of Texas versus Mindy Shugi Yanez. Sue. Okay, Sue Yanez, Miss Yanez. How are you doing? I'm doing fine, Miss Yanez. your case was reset to give you an opportunity to hire an attorney.
Mm,
Ms. Yanez, have you hired your attorney?
no, I'm still lacking.
Okay, you've been talking to an attorney?
Yeah.
How much time do you need?
Just about-
A month? Okay, give us 45 days. Ms. Yanez, your case is gonna be reset. To give you an opportunity to hire your attorney. What date is that?
January 9th.
Okay, this case is reset to January 9th of 2022, excuse me, 2023. You're gonna stand on the forks in front of the court coordinator. Once your case is reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is, okay,
It's not nothing, don't worry, we don't have a more track.
okay.
Okay, judge is trying to talk right now. Ma'am, judge is trying to talk right now, okay? Okay, go ahead.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is now in session and clause number 330428. The case is South State of Texas versus Mary Ruth Paul. Miss Mary Paul is appearing via Zoom. Miss Paul, can you hear me?
Yes,
How are you doing, Miss Paul?
yes.
Okay, Miss Paul, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Ryan Matuska. Attorney Matuska, what's your announcement in Miss Paul's case?
Your Honor, I've been informed Ms. Paul was sick today, so unfortunately, I'm not ready if she's not able to be here. I don't know the reason, but she's on the telephone.
Okay. Miss Paul, did you hear what your attorney said?
No.
Okay, Mr. Matuska, you can get over there.
Ms. Paul,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes.
Judge asked what our announcement was today. Because you're not here, I'm not able to begin trial without you. So could you tell the judge your condition?
Paper, for the past couple of days, we've been having symptoms of the COVID.
She get, okay, that's the she. Ms. Paul, have you taken a COVID test?
Not yet.
You need to get the, well, if you get it, we need the results of your COVID test to verify that you may have COVID or not. We need to know whether or not you are actually sick or not.
Judge, if I may, from the state's perspective, I don't necessarily need to know the results so much as that she went and submitted to the test. So from the state's perspective, I would be okay with just showing that she either visited a doctor or simply just submitted to the test. That's
Miss Paul, did you hear that?
Yeah, just visit the doctor and get a piece from the doctor.
I would be okay with that. Judge.
They, states,
You know,
yeah, but I mean,
At the minimum.
yeah, that's at the minimum because anybody could visit a doctor.
Yeah.
But we need to verify now. So right now, stay in contact with your attorney, get that information to your attorney.
Uh-huh.
And then this will conclude your case.
Okay.
All right, you have a blessed day and hopefully you have a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session in 2 cases. First case is cause number 325-753. Second case is cause number 326-379. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Dana Michelle Ratcliffe. Ms. Ratcliffe, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ratcliffe, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Ratcliffe, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ratcliffe, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Ratcliffe?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good, Ms. Ratcliffe. I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about November 22nd of 2019, while you was in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Ms. Ratcliffe, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Ratcliffe, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ratcliffe, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Ratcliffe, there are a set of initials on the line that's checked by a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Ms. Ratcliffe, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
On the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Ratcliffe, I also have a document that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Ratcliffe, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir. He did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ratcliffe. Well, Ms. Ratcliffe, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment answer. And do you offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, state officer, state 1.
Any objections?
No, sir. Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Ratcliffe, your attorney, Mr. Matusko, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Matusko, you've advised and counseled Ms. Ratcliffe. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No evidence.
Ms. Ratcliffe, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for defendant's plea of guilty in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 5 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the court give defendant credit for the 5 days previously spent in jail, making this a time served plea agreement, Your Honor. We're also asking that the court use the time served to both tax and retire the court costs. And lastly, Your Honor, in consideration for this plea agreement, the state has moved to dismiss companion case number 326-379.
Ms. Ratcliffe, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court cost in this case is $407, but you would not have to pay the court cost of $407 because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. And as part of this plea bargain agreement, the state will be dismissing clause number 325-753. Ms. Ratcliffe, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir. I do.
Ms. Ratcliffe, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Ratcliffe, you're going to stand on the X next to your attorney. You're going to follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you will be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And Mr. Matus, is this your last case?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. It says Mr. Harrington.
Oh, Mr. Harrington, okay. Mr. Billy, would you please call the name of Dustin Harrington? And get him to come in.
Little bit of. And it's that from a gun.
No response.
Okay. That's a little bit more.
No response.
Okay.
Sounds.
Yeah, he did.
Definitely see if he's still down there, just don't go.
Yeah, you can,
Just 1 minute.
okay.
Just check.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session in 4 case. First case is cause number 322272. Second case is cause number 326476. Third case is cause number 333118. And the fourth case is cause number 333120. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Sean Ronald Hendry. Mr. Hendry, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Hendry, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Hendry, you may put your hand down. State, do we have an agreement in the case?
We do, Your Honor. We reached an agreement as reflected in our agreed stipulation signed by both me, the state, and the defense counsel and his
Okay.
client, Judge. In exchange for the defendant's stipulation in cause number 322272 and cause number 333120, the state's unopposed to resetting this case.
Okay.
And we will assess a period of jail time in the amount of 90 days and dismiss the other companion misdemeanor cases.
Fair. Okay, now, Mr. Hendry, I have before me an agreed stipulation of evidence. Now, in this cause number 322272, you've been charged by information with the class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of a vehicle that allegedly occurred on or about January 22nd of 2019 while you were in Jefferson County, Texas. Do you understand what you've been charged with? And to that charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest? Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Now, Mr. Hendry, also in cause number 333120, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about May 14 of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention that allegedly occurred on or about May 14 of 2022 in Jefferson County, Texas. Mr. Hendry, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest? Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Henry, I also have before me an agreed stipulation of evidence in this case. Mr. Henry, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on this document along with your attorney's signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Hendry, before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Henry, the court is going to grant this agreed motion to this agreed stipulation of evidence. Now, just for the record, Mr. Todd LeBlanc, you have advised that counsel, Mr. Hendry. And is there any evidence that Mr. Hendry is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
I'm not sure.
And prior to you signing this document and Mr. Hendry signing this document, you went over this document with him, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did he appear to understand everything that you went over?
He did, Your Honor.
All right. So now state, we asking for a reset?
I believe Mr. LeBlanc's asking for a
Okay.
recheck. State's not opposed to it, Judge.
How much time do you need? Just for to enter his plea?
Yes, Judge. Well, that to
Okay.
take care of some other affairs and
Okay, we'll give him 30 days. That's fine. Just reset it in December, 30-day reset.
December 12th.
Okay, here you go. And this is gonna be e-file.
thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, I think I signed it. Yeah, it's gonna be a plea docket. We're gonna reset it for December 12th
Yes, sir.
of
Judge-
22.
Judge, I will say this, he's turning himself in to serve, Judge. Says.
You wanna do it on a
December.
certain day?
Well, December 12th is right before the holidays. I may live to regret this request.
How much time are we talking about that?
I didn't think that, Judge. If you could do it after the holidays, that's fine.
Again, I may end up regretting bringing this. to-
Well,
Y'all want to come and do it
All right.